It's great to be back in the apple. I know some of you are saying, Angel Drake, oh my God, it's a living legend. Actually, I would be mad at you if you said that because I prefer to be called Miss Angel Drake. It's in all my contracts. If they don't say Miss and they don't pick out the tan M&Ms, we trash the dressing room. Right there, Bear. I know many of you are saying, Angel, where have you been? They pleaded and begged with me to come back and headline Don't Tell Mama. As you can see, the crowds have been waiting in line. I've been very select with who I will allow to see me perform. Only certain people have been invited. Carnegie Hall wanted me, but I don't like the acoustics there. Now, I have been very busy. I have come back to fight some of the tabloid stories about me and Michael Jackson. It's not true that I've had a three-way with he and Lisa Marie, but although I wouldn't mind Lisa, I have to tell you the truth. But I'm back to fight some of those rumors. John F. Kennedy, that whole story is true. I have been playing my own theater. Yes, it's a very up-and-coming tourist town, Cedar Crack, Iowa. It's Twin Peaks. I'm in a little battle right now with David Lynch because he feels that title is his. But I told him I had Twin Peaks much longer than he has. At this time, I would like to introduce to you my protege, my collaborator, my piano player. Is he fabulous? Go ahead, let him know. Their start, and this man is no exception. I even changed his name. I gave him his trademark name, which is now his. When he came to the audition, I said, well, you play pretty good, baby. What's your name? And he said,
Herbert.
Herbert. I said, well, I don't know if Angel can really work with a fellow named
Herbert.
Herbert. But you do play nice. What's your middle name, Herbert?
Herbert.
Then I realized we could Frenchify him up, and we called him Air Bear. He's kind of like a cheese, only different. You got that whole line coming out now, right? Air Bear. Let's hear it for Air Bear. He'll be right next to the Dill Fontina on the shelf. Cameron Bear, Air Bear. Woo. Well, that's nice, little plink. That'll be enough of that. Now, I do want to tell you about some of the many people I have discovered. I have helped so many people, and that's the beauty of having a gift as huge as mine. You can let it affect so many other people's lives. First of all, I would like to tell you that my first great love affair, of course, in my life was James Brown. This was before he was really famous. I taught him a lot of his synchronized movements, you know, of course. James. A little more synchronized, yeah. There you go. And he was in jail, not this last time, but when he was about 14, 15, he was in jail in Augusta. I hadn't met you yet, Air Bear, but I've told you the story many times. Back in my blue T-bird, more say on the crowds are pretty bad. Anyway. He likes the story, and so I'll tell it again. He's always encouraging me, aren't you, Air Bear? Please, Angel, tell it. Well, I would go up there, you know, at 14 years old, carrying a sweet potato pie up there in jail. This is when I was like 15 in jail the first time, you know. And we started to grow apart. I think people do grow apart when one is in jail. You know, it's when you have to reach to those cold metal bars or something, I don't know. And he was always like, wow, he's wow, and wow. I was like, James, you're giving me a headache. I think I'm gonna have to break up with you, baby. He said, please, please, please. James, you're talking loud, but you're saying nothing. You're like a dull knife, Daddy, you just ain't cutting. Well, he wrote it down, the rest is all history, right? Actually, I think he should make his own car alarms there, you know, he's like, wah, so wait for the vehicle, wah! You know, because I'm looking for all sorts of ways to diversify my interests. Which we'll get to later when I do my infomercial. But I was walking home that day, and out from under this wonderful semi-truck, I seen this semi-truck pulled over on the side. And at first I was very excited because I thought it might be that big singing sensation, Lucky Jackson, but it wasn't him. This other fellow. I hear, he's like under there, I see these big feet, you know, sticking out from under the semi-truck, and of course I'm interested. said, I said, wow, what you singing? That sounds like a Negro spiritual. I said, well, I guess it is, Mom. I said, boy, I sure would like to see the face that goes up, pulling like that, pulling out on that dolly, comes sliding out from under. And he just pulls right out there, and I look right into this, he has mousy brown hair, but he got the most beautiful eyes. Beautiful. I just was mesmerized for a minute, And he goes, oh, man, what you pull me out there for? I got a lot of work to do. I said, yeah, and it's time for you to get busy. I said, you got a lot of work to do, all right, baby. I said, you sound pretty. You got a nice voice sitting under there. I think you could be a star. The only problem is you got that mousy brown blonde hair there. Nobody wants to look at you with them eyes like that, So why don't you come on back to my house? I'll blue black dye clear all your hair. Yeah, well, that'd be very nice. I said, what's the matter with your lip? Well, wait. I'm not sure. The only other person I seen do that was my aunt. She had a stroke, I didn't know what it was. When you asked, she wanted her soup, was twitching on her lip again. So first thing we did, we get back to the house, I made him a big bowl of soup. And then I started in with the hair, And you get to know someone when you got your hands in their hair. I don't like when you have your tongue in their mouth. It's the same thing in a lot of ways. Only different. And I got my hands in his hair, And incidentally, those plastic gloves that I dyed, you know who he is, right? His name's Elvis Presley, that's right.
Oh, that's my name is Elvis Presley, thank you very much.
And I said, well, that's such a silly name. We should change it. But that part he didn't listen to me about. So those gloves are going on auction at Sotheby's. You could probably get them for 10 grand, so buy them up because I'm looking for an apartment. But anyway, I'm in there with my hands in his hair, scrubbing the blue black in there. And I said, you got so many different sounds to your voice. You got so many cadences there. I said, tell me, who have been your influences, because it's so obvious that Connie Boswell's a big one for me. And he says, well, I have to say it's Lena Horne, Dean Martin, and Mario Lanza. Yeah. And then you watch Lena Horne, she does like that with her lip all the time. You watch her. Slow it down real slow when you see her on the Judy Garland show. That's what she's doing. Now some of you don't want to believe me, but when you lose the pink wedge in Trivial Pursuit, you'll want to say, I should listen to Missy. But there are many times when we'll meet someone, I welcome some of my boys. Come on, baby. I always like them to show up. I don't care if they're late, you know what I'm saying? Anyway. A lot of people say to me, I am something of a sexpert. I suppose you could say that. I have had many loves in my life. I will tell you later about my great love affair with Janis Joplin. I am the one that named her the Pearl. But I have to tell you all about that later because that's going to come out in my autobiography, the unauthorized autobiography. Miss Angel Drake, Always and Forever. And the actual pictures that Grace Slick took of the event will be in that, so I'll tell you about that. However, many people say to me, Angel, how can you decide if you want to be with a man or a woman? Because not unlike James Dean, I have been with both men and women. I feel like I should not go through life with one arm tied behind my back. That's what he said, and I agree. In fact, I was in the car with him the night he crashed. He was going so terribly fast, and I said, Jimmy Dean, slow down. And he didn't listen. He said something. I said, I can't understand anything you say. You mumble all the time. Sick of that. Well, let me out of this damn car. He did. He's dead. I'm up here walking on his head, so. So they said to me, how do you know if you should start up a love affair with someone? And I said, when you look at that person, you feel the chemistry. You feel it go pop, 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 pop in your belly. You gotta rub that belly. It's nice when it sticks out there nice and round. That's why I like my little belly to be round, yeah. It's your power center, ladies. It's not in the pelvis. It's not what's up here in your navel. Get into rubbing it. There's so many people that are just feeling wonderful chemistry with another human being, and they're taking tons to get rid of that shit. And what they should do is jump on that stuff. That's what I'm telling you. And you say to myself, well, Angel, you say to myself, or I say to myself. I told you I shouldn't have taken that Valium there, Barry. You should have stopped me. But I'm very relaxed. hesitate for even a moment. You jump on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because how many times have you been attracted to someone, you know, oh, I couldn't do that because he's with my girlfriend. Oh, she's with that guy. I couldn't do that. You know, she's with him. He's with her. You know, you made all these excuses and you don't even know the bitch now, right? You gotta have a plan. What you do is, you call up this fella, especially if it's a fella, you know, because they love to hook things up. That's all gonna be in the book too, don't worry. You call him up and you say, you know, I got a new stereo. You know, I was thinking maybe you're so electronical and everything. I thought maybe you could come over to my house and hook up my new electronic stereo. Well, maybe that'd be nice. In the meantime, you maybe go in and drown yourself with a lovely bubble bath. You come out all nice and pink. Yeah, fleshed up. Stay in there for a while so all the flesh soaks it all up. See, God put them glands there for a reason. You don't have to wash it all out of there. You know, like that girl on the TV ad. She says, oh, the sweating's not good. And the guy says, oh, the sweating's not good. I tried to forget them because I thought the headbands were too tight or something, you know. Put your nose in a notch and enjoy, baby. You put on a little pink something. I got this at the Miss Thing shop in Newport, Kentucky. It's a floater. Maybe add some champagne chillin', you know, while you're waiting for it. Good stuff too, like brew. Rexy neck, that's nice. So then when they get there, you kind of find yourself in the doorway, you know, over in there. You gotta find another doorway, not the front door, because you might get all kinds of people in your house. You stay in the doorway back, unlock the front door, and you're waiting it. Ding dong. Come on in, baby, it's open. Oh, hi. Oh, I was just lounging around the house. Oh, you know, before we start hooking up my stereo, you know, maybe you want to take your shirt off. I just happen to have some very fine champagne chilled right here. Would you like a big go help yourself? Thank you for me. You know, I have a confession to make. I didn't really ask you over here to hook up my boombox. I asked you over here because I wanted to talk honestly with you. Yes, I know that you're with her. I know all about that. But I could tell you a whole bunch of stuff about her that'd make you hate her. I'm just saying that you and me and you, just one night only. I'll say nothing, you say nothing. What do you say, baby? Let me put on my already hooked up stereo, and you pose for me a little bit while you're thinking.